Alright, here we are, playing Blue-White Tron in Modern. This hand's fine. Assuming my opponent is playing creatures, this hand has everything I need. It looks like a traditional blue-white control deck right here. Fairies, maybe? Watery Grave, Sleight of Hand. So he might be playing the Ad Nauseam combo deck. And it looks like he is, as he exiles Lotus Bloom. I draw a Tron piece, so that's excellent. And then I play an Orzorius Signet. And I pass it back. So obviously my hand is terrible right now. I have 2 Wrath of Gods and an Oblivion Ring against a deck with no creatures and very few permanents. I might be able to get something with Oblivion Ring, like a Pentad Prism or a Phyrexian Unlife, ideally, but it's really not doing much. My only hope to win this game really is to draw some action. Hopefully draw gifts and set up Iona Lock. Alright, so reaching for the sideboard, I think. I'm going to end of turn sacrifice the map to get a tower just so I hit a land drop. So he runs out the Unlife, which is excellent for me. I'm actually going to get a Colonnade so I can get aggressive. I need to do that. Run Colonnade out there. Oblivion Ring his enchantment. And then next turn I'm going to attack for 4. And I just might get him. Okay, so he combos off. And I believe I'm dead. We'll see. We'll let him do it. So it's possible I can win if I redirect his Lightning Storm with my power plant. Go for it. So he needs to discard 9 lands. $16, 18. And he redirects it, so that's game. Sideboard. I'm going to want the Pact, the Dispel, the Negate, and I think the Mind Rig Trap as well. Rule of Law is actually good. Aethersworn Canonist is good. Disenchant is decent. Path is terrible. And the Wraths are terrible. So is Timely Reinforcement. Detention Sphere and O-Ring are also not great. But I'm likely going to have to play some of those. Okay, so here's this. I'm going to keep all the creatures in. And, ooh, actually, Stony Silence I'm going to try out against him. Hurts him more than it hurts me. And the Disenchant. And then I'll go with the D-Sphere and the O-Ring. It's all the interaction I can muster. Spellscud I can keep redirecting as Lightning Storm. So I suppose that's actually good. Lightning Storm. I'm going to look in my collection. Or deck editor, I should say. I'm going to look up Lightning Storm. Make sure that it can actually hit creatures. It can. Okay, so that's awesome. Spellskite's good then. I'm going to cut the Worm Coil. Alright, I'll run this. This is just turn 2 Stony Silence. And then Gifts combo. This is a fine hand. I have no artifacts in the way. I have a couple Tron lands, and I have 2 gifts. So this is all systems go right now. Hopefully I get to see him suspend some Lotus Blooms, or maybe play Penthead Prism, and Stony Silence should buy some time. Turn off his artifact mana. And then I can gifts for Iona. Play Iona. And go from there. And I believe I will Iona for black. He probably has different kinds of black removal. So we'll see. He could also have Path, though. So his combo is white and black. So you name one of those two. Cool. So with Serum, he put one on top, one on bottom. And then he played the Scryland and put that same card back on top. Okay, he plays Prism he can't use. And I could disenchant it, but I'm pretty all in on this Stony Silence, so I'm going to hold off. I'm going to save disenchant in case he has Phyrexian Unlife and try to disrupt his combo. If I kill the Pentad Prism and he gets rid of the Stony Silence later, he's still going to have those blooms in play. He's still going to have tons of mana. So either Stony Silence stops him or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, I want to have that disenchant to try to interrupt his combo. Alright, so gifts here. So I have two options here. I can go for the combo or I could go for value. I have another gifts to get the combo, so I'm leaning towards getting value. I think the best sort of value is going to be hate and mana. So I think I'm going to go for Rule of Law, Urza's Tower, Canonist, and Pactum Negation. I could have also gotten Dispel. Basically, I want to get a counterspell to protect my combo when I go for it. Assuming he gives me Tower and Pact, next turn I can Gifts for the combo and still have Pact up, which makes this play excellent. If he gives me Pact and one of the hate cards, I'll have a hate card, and then Pact is a little bit more awkward, but it will come in handy in a couple of turns. And Pact is also excellent against stopping his combo whenever that happens. Alright, he does that. He casts Teachings. And I'm going to go for Iona. And pass it back. And with that draw, the game should be well in hand. Another turn. No need to cast the sphere there. If I had plenty of mana, I would get his blooms as insurance. But I need to keep up white and blue for disenchant and dispel. Alright, and then this should be the game. He'll probably cast Angel's Grace to buy a turn, I guess. Alright, so he doesn't find a way. And same configuration. My sideboard cards actually don't do anything. None of these other ones. So the main deck, or I should say this configuration is good. This has everything that I need. Everything that does something. Hellish Norn is actually not great at all. But it is a creature and it can pump my colonnades and Spouse Guide and stuff, and it's fine. It also kills his Simian Spirit Guides, which is kind of an alternate plan of his. This hand's not great. But dual land, tower, remand is a very strong start. You add Thirst for Knowledge, and that's a really good 4. And while I do have the 2 Oblivion Rings, which aren't very great, they're all right. And I have the Spell Skite, which actually seems pretty good. And he says, nice sideboard. I'm going to say thank you. Thank you. I don't know if that's sarcasm or what, but yes, I am prepared for his deck. So this remand is earmarked for his Lotus Bloom. He said, I thought every Tron is a buy, and the last game looked like one. Except not for me, but for you. Yeah. He probably thinks I have more hate than I do because of gifts. Okay, so Bloom is going to come into play next turn. So Spellskite here. I could also hold the Spellskite for Thirst, but I think getting it into play is awesome. It's going to make him work. I didn't really think of Spellskite as an answer to this combo deck, but apparently in some way it is. I'm banking on this remand. Or remand. And another option is the Thirst, but I do need to stop his Lotus Bloom. The more time I could buy, the more lands I can get into play, the more cards I can draw, and the more likely I am to win. Okay, so he peers for just another sleight of hand, which is excellent. All right, he runs out Bloom. Remand it. Okay, that resolves. That's cool. I also draw another land, which is awesome. Thirst for Knowledge, discarding these two doesn't seem terrible. We might also see him play Phyrexian Unlife, which would be awesome. But he doesn't. Alright, so I'll take 2. No reason not to. Well, there is a reason. My endgame plan is to keep redirecting his Lightning Storm at Spellskite and run him out of lands. So I do want to keep my life total up, but obviously in this case, taking 2 so I can Gifts Ungiven is advantageous. Okay, he has no play. So I'm going to Gifts. And assuming it resolves, I'm going to go for value here. He packs. So he has plans for next turn, obviously. Any teachings? So I can Thirst. Discarding Signet. And now I can have Tron and Ivukin. And this looks good. He's going to basically just skip his next turn. He 2-for-1 himself and spend a bunch of time stopping my gifts. And earlier I said I was going to gifts for value, but because I had Spellskite to protect and Iona, I would have actually, I think, went for the combo. He just doesn't really play counter spells for my combo. Like, I'm playing around Remand and stuff, but he just doesn't have that card. I think I need to be a little more proactive than I was planning on being. And I'm going to Remand again. Keep his mana down. Uh-oh. I click through. Okay, well that's unfortunate. So I'm relying on my Spellskite now. I accidentally clicked through the silence. I could have pacted it, or I could have remanded it to buy mana. Okay, he's going for that now. And then here is his ad nauseam. So, hoping he doesn't have an answer to Spellskite. I'm sure he has Slaughter Pact. So I would have had to, I guess, remanding the silence. If he looks like he doesn't have another land, that might have been good enough. Or I could have thirsted, seen what's up, and then packed and keep remand for later. Or remand the Lotus Bloom that was going to come down. That might have been good. So I can redirect 10 times. He has to discard 8 lands. Yeah, I think I win. I think I win at 4 life. And yeah, I don't think he has lands in his hand. Oh, he has the Echoing Truth.